Invalid paperwork. You don't qualify for benefits. The cold-faced employee pushed the file aside, not even looking at the elderly man standing before her. But just 30 minutes later, the rumble of engines echoed outside. Two military SUVs pulled up directly in front of the office. An officer stepped inside, flashing his credentials. "I'm here representing the Department of Defense. This man is someone we never forget. Type honor if you believe sacrifice deserves recognition." Samuel Parks was a 79-year-old Vietnam veteran living alone in the suburbs of Georgia. Despite his advanced age and the PTSD that still haunted his sleep, he insisted on maintaining his independence, refusing to burden anyone with his care. One morning, an official letter arrived stating his veteran pension had been temporarily suspended due to insufficient verification of permanent address and medical information. The bureaucratic language masked a simple truth. His lifeline had been cut without warning. Determined to resolve the issue, Sam carefully gathered his documentation, service certificates, medical reports, and even old wartime photographs showing a younger man with clear eyes that hadn't yet seen what they would come to witness. He took a 2-hour bus ride to the benefits office, his arthritic knees protesting every bump in the road. The worn leather briefcase on his lap contained a lifetime of service, meticulously documented on paper, the only format he knew. At the office, he was directed to Melissa, a 32-year-old employee in designer clothes whose expression remained unchanging as Sam explained his situation. She flipped through his paperwork with manicured fingernails, sighing audibly before speaking. "These documents are outdated. We need digital versions with QR code verification." Sam explained gently that he didn't own a smartphone or printer. Technology had advanced faster than his ability to keep up with it. Melissa smirked slightly. "Perhaps you should ask your grandchildren to help. This is the digital age, after all." Despite his attempts to explain further, how he lived alone, how his only son had died in Desert Storm, how his fixed income couldn't stretch to new technology, she remained unmoved. "I'm sorry, but procedures are procedures. No exceptions." Her voice carried across the open office, causing several heads to turn briefly before looking away. Sam nodded slowly, gathering each piece of paper with careful hands, placing them precisely back into his briefcase. Military habits of order persisting after decades of civilian life. No one offered assistance. No sympathetic glances were exchanged. The other employees maintained their focus on screens rather than the elderly veteran struggling to refold his discharge papers with trembling fingers. As he stood to leave, a younger veteran waiting his turn noticed the silver star pin on Sam's lapel, a quiet symbol of extraordinary valor in combat. But even he remained silent, eyes downcast, perhaps fearing his own upcoming encounter with the system. Sam straightened his posture before walking out. The same disciplined stance he'd maintained through gunfire, through loss, through decades of fighting personal battles in silence. Sam exited the office and settled on a wooden bench outside as a light rain began to fall. His old bones ached from the long bus journey and the longer wait that had yielded nothing but rejection. A young janitor named Josh approached, offering a bottle of water. "I recognized you from the war documentary on the Veterans Channel. You're Mr. Parks, aren't you?" Sam nodded, surprised to be recognized. Josh hesitated, then asked, "Would you mind if I took photos of your paperwork? I know someone who might be able to help." Too tired to refuse, Sam allowed it. Josh quietly sent the images to Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Kelly, who served with the Veterans Rights Protection Unit, and whose mother's life had once intersected with Sam's in ways Josh had only recently discovered. Colonel Kelly, upon receiving the information, immediately contacted the National Veterans Department. The timestamp on his urgent notification read 2:17 p.m. By 2:37 p.m., Kelly had arrived at the nearest military base, requesting an escort team and emergency documentation. The base commander, recognizing the name Samuel Parks from training materials about Vietnam-era heroes, authorized immediate deployment. At precisely 2:47 p.m., two military SUVs with special insignia pulled up in front of the benefits office, where Sam had been denied just minutes earlier. The entire office fell silent as Lieutenant Colonel Kelly entered, followed by two impeccably uniformed officers. Their presence commanded attention without a single word being spoken. Kelly walked directly to Melissa's desk, his voice controlled but resolute. "I'm Andrew Kelly, direct representative from the National Veterans Bureau. I'm here to address a serious error that occurred in this office today and to offer an apology on behalf of our nation." Melissa stammered. I was just following protocols." Kelly didn't raise his voice. He simply placed a copy of a battlefield commendation on her desk. "The woman in this photo holding a child is my mother. The soldier bandaging her leg. That's Mr. Parks." The office remained completely still. Even the phone seemed afraid to ring. Sam entered behind them, showing no anger, only quiet dignity. "I don't need the money. I just need acknowledgement that I didn't fight for nothing." A senior manager emerged from his office, immediately recognizing the gravity of the situation. His face paled as Colonel Kelly explained the exact regulations being violated by denying Sam's pension. Regulations specifically designed to accommodate veterans with limited access to technology. Those who once fought for our flag often return home to fight for recognition. If you think that's wrong, type honor so no one has to remain silent again. Lieutenant Colonel Kelly demanded Sam's benefits be restored within 24 hours, with additional support for his PTSD diagnosis that had previously been overlooked. The story reached local television and spread across social media with the headline, "Hero Denied, Honor Restored by an Entire Unit." Melissa was transferred to a different department following complaints about her attitude and age-based technological discrimination. The government agency issued new regulations. All veterans over 70 years of age will receive direct assistance with paperwork, no digital requirements. The Hearts for Veterans charity sponsored the construction of a retirement home for Sam and other single veterans in Georgia. The building included a computer center with patient instructors who helped residents navigate technology at their own pace. One day, a middle-aged man arrived at Sam's new residence, carrying a photograph of his mother. "My mom said, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be alive today." He was the child in the photograph, the one whose mother Sam had helped evacuate from a village under fire in 1969. Now a doctor himself, he had spent decades wondering about the soldier who had saved them both. Josh, the janitor who had recognized Sam, received commendation for his timely action and was awarded a public service scholarship from the National Veterans Fund. During the ceremony, he revealed that his own grandfather had served alongside Sam, though they had never met after the war. "Sometimes recognition comes from unexpected places," Josh said. "I grew up hearing stories about a brave medic named Parks, never imagining I'd meet him while mopping floors." After the ceremony honoring Sam, Lieutenant Colonel Kelly spoke quietly to the older veteran. "I've heard gunfire, but I've never heard anyone shout for honor as loudly as you did, even though you barely whispered." A new bench was placed in the benefits office courtyard, engraved with the words, "Honor needs no echo. It only needs someone willing to defend it until the end." The office that had once turned Sam away underwent a complete cultural transformation. The staff received mandatory training in veterans' history and sensitivity. Every employee was assigned to shadow a veteran for a day to understand the unique challenges they faced. The most powerful change came from within the bureaucracy itself. Forms were simplified. Alternative verification methods were implemented. Most importantly, in-person assistance became readily available for those unfamiliar with digital systems. When asked if he felt vindicated, Sam shook his head. "This was never about me. It's about making sure the next old soldier doesn't have to fight a battle just to be remembered." His quiet dignity had accomplished more than years of formal complaints and policy recommendations. Sometimes, the most profound changes come not from shouting, but from the quiet persistence of those who refuse to be forgotten. Every morning, Sam reads the newspaper under the trees in his new retirement community, beside a wooden sign bearing his name. When asked what makes him happiest, he doesn't mention money or fame. He simply points toward Josh watering the garden. That young man believed in truth. That's something many people in suits have forgotten. A new sign stands in front of the old benefits office. "We don't just process paperwork, we honor those who once kept this land safe." The office now hosts monthly veterans gatherings where older veterans share stories with younger service members, creating bridges across generations of service. Melissa, after sensitivity training, requested reassignment to veteran outreach, where she now helps elderly veterans navigate technology. Her perspective completely transformed after understanding the stories behind the paperwork she once dismissed. Sam himself has become a quiet mentor to young servicemen and women preparing for deployment, offering wisdom that can't be found in training manuals. You might forget a name, but you must never forget why they once stood up. Because honor isn't a privilege. It's what remains after sacrifice. If you believe honor should be recognized, not requested, subscribe to TT Hero Stories. TT Hero Stories, because some heroes never stop serving.